It's time to turn around. When you don't know what to do, it's time to turn around. Turn to Jesus, He loves you. It's time to turn around. When you don't know what to do, it's time to turn around. Turn to Jesus, He loves you.
Yeah, so to begin with, when did you all have your first encounter with the Lord?
Okay, it all began in the year, say 1998. You see, I left the country somewhere in June in 98 because I was wanted here by the law. So there was some police case that was there, so I left the country and I went to Dubai. Thinking that life would begin over there. But one thing I noticed, that even though I went there thinking that life would begin or something new would happen, you see, nothing happened. Life just got more empty. And we were brought up as Catholics, just going to church, doing doctrines and doing the normal things. But right deep within, there was still an empty vacuum. So I went to Dubai thinking life would change. Life didn't change. I got a good job in Emirates and well settled. Said at least now life would begin. But life never began. It felt more and more empty. But there was one incident where it was not that I was seeking God, I was just fed up with life. Life didn't make any sense. So a part of my job required me to fly. So I was coming back from Australia and I was sitting on the plane on the last seat in 2001 and you could smoke on the plane. So I was smoking and just sitting there minding my own business, and all of a sudden I started to feel tears started to run down my eyes. And I heard a voice, a voice that was so clear and said, the moment you land, go to this place. So I didn't understand. I mean, I'm not a very religious person. I've never known who God is. But deep within me, I knew that that was God. So the first time this happened, and then I thought, no, if you become holy now and you change, it won't make any sense. So after some time I just lit the second cigarette and the same thing began to happen. The voice, tears started running down my eyes, and because I was on duty, I was a little bit worried how others would look at me. So I said, okay Lord, I will go. And after some time I thought maybe it's my mind, maybe because of the no proper sleep, because I had not slept for close to nearly 48 hours. So I thought maybe I'm just hallucinating. And I lit the third cigarette. The same thing happened the third time. And then I made a decision, okay, let me go to this place and let me find out what this is all about. And I came back, I had not slept for nearly 48 hours, and I had a shower and I went into this place. And there was this man in front, of course, who was a pastor, but at that time I didn't know properly, so he was there standing, and he made a statement and said, if Jesus is to come back, how many of you are prepared? See, nobody told me about Jesus coming back. You see, everybody sees him on the cross, but nobody knows about his coming. So I thought, what is he talking about, Jesus coming back? So I sat down, and that day they had a German man who had come to preach. And this German man, he stood up and he started to say that, I was a criminal and I was into drugs and I was in jail and I was this. And as he was talking, I found out that except drugs, because I never did drugs, you see, nor was I dealing with drugs. Except drugs, both our lives were the same. And I was wondering, how could God take out someone who's a criminal, someone who's that bad? And he was talking about going to Africa and the sick being healed and miracles happening and him traveling to the nations. So I just started to wonder, how could God do that? You see, nobody had told me that God changes people's lives. All that we need, all that I knew or religion thought was that you go to church because you don't want to go to hell. You don't want to perish, so you go to church. Because you want something good to happen, you go to church. And that's where I found out. And then I started to think that's exactly opposite to what religion says. That you don't need God. Only, yes, we need to accept Christ to go to heaven. because He is the only way to the Father. But God is more than that. You see, that I heard God sitting in a plane with a cigarette in my hand. It taught me something that very first day, that God hates sin but loves the sinner. And when I saw this man, and I said, if God, you can change this man, and this man is going to the nations and proclaiming the gospel, then I want to do the same thing. So that very day is when I gave my life. That is close to 99, November, December 99, where I gave my life to the Lord, and I started to, from that day it was my desire.
Could you share with us how and when the Lord brought you all together into the covenant of marriage, and how long you all have been serving the Lord together?
Yeah, we were married in January the 21st in 2016. Yeah, that is when we came together in holy matrimony. Yeah, and yeah, you can tell the story. Yeah.
We've been married for 1 year
and 5 months.
Yes. So we are pretty new to marriage, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
Marriage has been good.
Yeah.
Our story is a very unique story because we met on Facebook, and I guess I said hi to her in 2011 and she didn't respond. And I said hi to her again and she again didn't respond. So I tried for the third time. But in all of this, we were. I just said hi to her, and we didn't know what was going on, or it wasn't like anything about marriage. But
Yeah.
I said hi to her in 2015, 14.
Yeah.
And she responded, and we started.
Again 2014, after 2011.
After 2011, after 2 times, I said hi again.
Yeah.
Then she finally said hi, and not 3 times.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't reply earlier, but when he sent a hi in 2014 is when I responded to him and we got chatting. Like just generally, he was talking about his life and I was talking about mine, but nothing towards marriage, or we weren't even thinking. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about him at all at that time. Nor was he, I guess. or maybe he was just trying. Yeah.
I think at the end of 2014, I had kind of some feelings for her. Though I never met her, I just saw her on Facebook. And she decided to go to Germany to do a master's in architecture. And I was like, yeah, see, one more girl. The relationships that I had first, I was like,
You thought even this one is turning out the same.
Because I knew that God wanted to for me to be here in Goa, and I wasn't giving up my calling for that, for marriage or any relationship. So she went to Germany and she didn't get in touch with me, but I continued chatting with her.
On Facebook.
one way chat. And finally I cracked some funny jokes about Germany which she didn't like. So she didn't reply.
No. And then I totally cut off from him.
Yeah. From Feb she was just silent. Yeah. And then I knew her cousin, so I spoke to her cousin. I said, I think I lost a good friend. Though I wasn't interested in marriage or anything at that time. So she said, your jokes were really funny, but you're just pushing it too much. So at that time, she said, after a few months, you like one of her pictures on Facebook. So I said, okay. And I liked one of her pictures after two months on Facebook. Yeah. But that was it. I apologized for my behavior and stuff, and I didn't apologize for my jokes. They were funny. Yeah. But after that, we all of a sudden on the 1st of June, she sent me a message. You're forgiven and forgotten, never fun. So that was how we began to start talking again. But this time I found that she was talking to me and I was talking less because I was very cautious about
what you speak to her.
What I speak to her.
Yeah, because I was praying about marriage and I didn't know where God wanted me to be, and so I was open to what God had for me. Yeah, and so suddenly like Josh came back to mind, like probably this was what God opened for me, and I was just shutting a door on what God had for me. So I told the Lord, okay, I would keep my heart open this time, even if I'm to get hurt, like I would keep my heart open and see if this is from you, then I'll accept it. Like. So I began talking to him this time, and of course, when I sent that message, I never thought he would reply to me because I was really rude. I said, forgiven and forgotten, but never funny. So I thought that was the end of it. But then Josh replied to that message. So yeah, and then we got talking, and then he was quiet after that. So I would send a video or something, like something to keep in touch with him now. Because now I was like, okay, maybe this is from God, and I just have to be open to it and see where it goes. Yeah. And we got talking, we were chatting a lot, and then I didn't know where this was going. And so I asked him one day, I said, I need to know for sure if we are friends, or because we need to draw lines. We can't just keep talking and I share my heart with you. So I wanted to be like guarded and not like just share my heart with someone and then it's like, I don't think that was the right way to go. So I told him, yeah, we need to know like where this was going. So, and soon after that we began speaking about marriage. Yeah. And once the word marriage came in, it just went like
पास्टर आतां आमच्या काजारी जिवितांत जायते पाटी अशे कोश्ट येतात, दूख येता, जायते अशे वयर सकयल जाता. सो तुमी दोगांय अशे परिस्थिती येयल्यार ह्या परिस्थितीचो फुडो तुमी कशी करतात?
Yeah, that is very good. Without that, it is not possible. Struggles way. So the challenges we have faced. Yes, definitely in the last all many years that from 2002. And I believe prayer is the only answer. Prayer is the main answer. And I think मागणे तो ना न्हू जेन्ना मागणे आसोन पासून आसता पूण देव सेंटर आसूंक जाय. God has to be the center. See, struggles केन्ना ते चड जाता, struggle आसता जेन्ना हांव like as she said, I am selfish. हांव थिंगा मदें आहा जाल्यार everything is me and I am hurt and जेन्ना हांव मदें आहा तेन्ना न्हू चड स्ट्रगल जाता. जेन्ना हांव सकला पडटा and I say, okay, I am hurt, but I choose to come back, or there are things like personal that it comes to, or the other challenges are there, which sickness, trials and all that come. The strength that we find, the gotayam kamyauta poiti magnenus meota, prayer brings us, what do you want to add more into that?
Yeah. I remember when we were praying about like for our wedding card, we had put this like God is, Jesus is, and is and was, is and will be the center of our marriage. It looks good to put in the wedding card, but it actually should be a reality, like in our day-to-day lives. We have gone through the storms, the boat, but we know that Jesus is in our boat, but sometimes we are so caught up with so many things, we don't realize His power in our life, personal life, ministry and marriage also. But coming back to, I think we should come back to basics. Basics is seek Him and pray, because there is an old saying, the family that prays together stays together. But that very classical saying, it is still active even now, what I feel. And we pray, and sometimes we can miss on our day-to-day seeking God. We can be caught up with so many things, but I feel the struggles, how to face it is, one thing is we have to know that He is the one who calms the storm. It is Jesus. The difference that we have right now is Jesus is with us. We know the assurance. There are many married couples also, they go through struggles, but they don't have that assurance that Jesus is there. We also face struggles, challenges, problems, we face that. And sometimes we don't know what decision to take, but the very fact that we know that we are together, trusting in Him and praying and believing, and also the power of speaking, I feel, positive words over the situation, that the things will move when we speak God's word and speak the affirmative words. Then we can cancel, and believing that in prayer we can fight through the battle. And as the disciples were in the boat, Jesus was sleeping, and same time we feel Jesus has forsaken us, but then when we have that assurance, when we pray together, when two agree, and it can be done. So the struggles can be faced. The boat keeps on shaking, but we have to come on our knees and just
See, God needs to come first in our life.
Yeah.
Yes, God is the priority.
Yeah.
Now there's a saying, and it is said that second is our family and
Yeah.
third is our ministry.
Yeah.
So on this point, what would you all want to say?
Yeah, so God first, family second, ministry third. Sounds like a very kind of Christian way, obviously that's the right thing to say. But for me, I'd put, I'd put God in the center, right? I'd put God in the center. I'd put my family around Him, and I'd put ministry wrapping around all of that. Right? In that way, when I'm doing ministry knowing that, keeping in mind God and family, right? Because for me, honestly, it's, Jesus is everything. Jesus is the center of everything. And my life is handicapped without my wife. So it has to be both in Jesus in the center, my wife around it, and my ministry wrapping it. I'll quit ministry if I don't have God, what ministry am I going to do? But without Helen, I don't think I'll be able to function, right? So for me, rather than putting it 1, 2, 3, I rather put it like a burger, for example, right? You have the meat right in the center, then you have the cheese. I call you cheese, right? And you have the bun, right? So when you bite, I don't eat my meat first, my cheese second, my bun third, right? I take a bite of the whole thing. I'm looking for the juice, which is God, right? That is why I'm eating the burger. And and obviously the cheese tastes amazing with it. Can't go without cheese. And ministry is what we wrap around that. So for me personally, I look at it that way.
So another thing is, see, in whatever we do, we need to know where to draw a line.
Yes.
Okay. So what I want to ask is, how do you all balance your family and your ministry life?
Joshua was born in 1982, and at that time God made it very clear to me, because I read a book about the life of evangelist by the name of Billy Sunday, and it really impacted my life. One of the things that I think I learned a lot of was from people who made mistakes. Like, you learn from other people's mistakes, not just the good points. And at the end of Billy Sunday's life, he was a good man, he was a very good preacher, very good evangelist. And he took his wife wherever he went. On his ministry trips, he would take his wife. But his children were left with the nanny, and they really felt that God took their father and mother away from them. So as a result of which, the day Billy Sunday died, his children were all in a mess. That one was drunk and one was somewhere else, and so that really touched my life. I said, I will never want my children to be in that state. So from 1982 to 1992, I was a 24/7 mom. The only time I went out when we came to Goa is that on Sundays we went for the meeting to Panjim, because we lived in Cherang. That's the only time we went. And then I began to see the need in 1992 that I need to be with him. By the time Josh was 10, and he was pretty responsible, and we taught the boys to do everything, including cooking and cleaning and sweeping and swabbing and everything. So they used to make the evening meal at that time. But that breakthrough only came, it was around that my birthday, that God gave me a promise. I will bless your going out and your coming back. And I felt that freedom that I could go out now and come back to happy children. And it's amazing that the boys, while we went for ministry, we would come home to a cooked meal. We would all three do things together. Like, one would clean the onions and one would chop the onions, and we would have a meal come to at home. There was a time I remember I did not want to go, and he said, no, I want you to come. I want you to come with me.
So I said yes, because I have to submit to my husband. I went reluctantly. When I came home, I was so surprised that the house was cleaner than what I left it. In fact, it was so clean, I got shocked. So I realized when we put God, in first in everything, and we do what God wants us to do, God will back us up. And that's amazing. The balancing, of that whole thing of ministry and family and all, it was just one big flow. It was like the children were disjointed from the ministry. It's like it says when David, when they went into war, those who remained back to look after the supplies, they were equally into the battle. So that's what, as a family, we understood. Everyone was in the ministry, even if they were cooking the meal at home.
You all as a couple, okay, and as a parent, I would request you all to give a word of encouragement for our viewers. म्हणजे असोत म्हणटा आमची जायती आवय बापूय आमकां ह्यो प्रोग्राम पळयता आसतली, तेच भाशेन एक कपल काजारी गोबायलां पळयतात आसतली. सो तुमी एक पेरंट जावन, आवय बापूय जावन आनी एक कपल जावन तांकां एक तुमचे कडेन मागता उतर दिवपाक, तेंचोय भावार्थ उर्बेवून करपाक.
भावांनो आनी भयणींनो, हांव तुमकां इतलें सांगता, योशुआ चॅप्टर 1 वर्स 1 to 13 तुमी वाचात. तुमचे मॅरीड लायफ जावं, तुमची प्रेयर लायफ जावं, तुमची पर्सनल लायफ जावं, कसलीय जावं, पण जेन्ना तुमचे दोळे जेजूचे उतरांचेर आसा, आमकां दाव्यान पळोवंक जायना, रायटान पळोवंक जायना, लेफ्टान पळोवंक जायना, पण आमचे दोळे जेजूचेर आसूंक जाय. आनी जे पर्यंत आमचे दोळे जेजूचेर आसा, आमी जे जाग्यार आमची पावलां घालतली, जावं मॅरीड लायफ जावं, प्रेयर लायफ जावं, मिनिस्ट्री लायफ जावं, कितेंय जावं, आमकां थंयसर सक्सेस मेळटलें. आनी तो सक्सेस दिवपी जेजू आसा, कारण तुजे दोळे जेजूचेर लागलेले आसा म्हणून.
Okay, word of advice for youngsters who are already into a relationship and those who are looking for life partners.
Well, I want to say one thing, my friends, those of you who are contemplating marriage, I would say do not rush into marriage. Do not rush because she looks pretty. A girl may look pretty, my friends, but that beauty will not last for long. What will last for long till you die is the character. So we have to find somebody who is of a good character. Like Peter says in the Bible, the beauty should not be an outward appearance, but it should be a quiet and gentle spirit from within. We have to be beautiful from within. So we have to ask the Lord for guidance. Who is the boy for me? Who is the girl for me? And if you sincerely ask the Lord knows who is your spouse. The Lord knows who is your, like He did it to us. So if you seek the Lord will guide you, and the Lord will give you the right person for marriage, just as He did to Abraham. Abraham did not rush. He could have just got the girl from the neighborhood. But it was a very long journey and it was a tedious process. but Abraham wanted his daughter-in-law to be from God and not from himself. So likewise I encourage you, ask God who is your partner, and the Lord will open the door and He will give you the right person for you, because God knows who is your partner and God knows what you need, and the Lord will answer your prayer. We should not jump because somebody is rich or somebody is influential or somebody is pretty or what. No, God knows what is best for us. Like our marriage was not from us or from the devil, it was definitely from the Lord. And we see if it is from the Lord, if your marriage is from the Lord takes up the responsibility to bless your marriage, and His favor and His grace will always rest upon your marriage.
Yeah, what I would also like to say for people who are going to get married, also never engage yourself, sorry if I'm being a little bit open, but never engage yourself in intimacy before marriage, because that would really lead you to be emotional, especially women. It leads you to be emotionally dependent on the man. You will be emotionally connected to the man. You will not be able to separate from him just in case something happens. So I think the intimacy part should be reserved for after marriage, because
like even the Bible warns us against.
Yes, the Bible warns us about fornication and all that stuff. So the intimacy part should be kept, and you should honor the marriage bed also. Never defile it. So this would be my word of encouragement for.
Hi friends, we believe that season 3 of 180 Degrees has been an immense blessing to all of you. We had some of Goa's best couples on our set, and we personally have been encouraged through their life journey and testimonies, especially in the area of marriage and building a home which is Christ-centered. So today, it is our last episode of 180 Degrees Season 3. But wait, there's much more coming up on Rophe TV. So, stay tuned, stay blessed and be favored always. Much love to all of you until we meet again at Season 4. God bless.
It's time to turn around. When you don't know what to do, it's time to turn around. Turn to Jesus, He loves you. It's time to turn around. When you don't know what to do, it's time to turn around. Turn to Jesus, He loves you.